and I see everybody's getting dressed up and it's all spooky. My favorite thing actually about Halloween is to watch what happens in the gay community, especially gay men, because it's literally where they try and figure out how many sexy costumes they can add wings to. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's like you're in the village and you see this gay man dressed as a mummy with wings. Or he's like a doctor in scrubs with wings. But for me, I think the best thing about Halloween is witches. And we think of witches as BS, right? Witches and spells and bringing down the patriarchy, because honestly, that's all what witches are. It was just women who were standing up for themselves in a society that did not recognize them, and the male-driven society said, nope, you need to be burned or hung. And so they turned them into old women with these gnarly noses and long fingers that ate children. We were supposed to be scared of them. But I'm not scared of strong women. I love strong women. So I'm gonna sing you a little song about a strong woman who just hated men.
Courtney? Is this song about Courtney?
It is about Courtney.
In old Savannah, I said Savannah, the weather there is nice and warm. The breezes of the southern grand. But here's what I don't understand. They got this gal there, a pretty gal there, who's meaner than an Arctic storm. Got a heart just like a stone. Even icemen leave her alone. They call her hot-hearted Hannah, the vamp of Savannah, the meanest gal in town. Lander is tough, but Hannah's heart is tougher. Rather, she was born to see men suffer, to tease them and thrill them, to torture and kill them. It's her delight, they say. I saw her at the seashore with a great big pan. There was Hannah pouring water on a drowning man. She's hard-hearted Hannah, the vamp of Savannah. You wanna see her? Ooh, you wanna see her. On the outside she's as soft as silk, but on the inside she's as hard as nails. She's just a gal who hates her males. And when she's nasty, ooh, she's so nasty. Sweet as sour milk. Nothing she likes better than feeding poison food to a man. They call her hot-hearted Hannah, the vamp of Savannah, the meanest gal in town. Talk of your cold, refrigerated mama. Brother, she's a polar bear's pajamas. To tease, thrill, torture, and kill them is her delight, they say. And it's linked with Hannah sitting on your knees. It's like traveling through Alaska in your DVDs. She's hard-hearted Hannah, the vamp of Savannah, GA.
Promote this on Twitter, guys.
All right, so I now know I can perform at 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Good. That's something to tick off the old resume. I could do morning drag. We are so delighted that you are all here and have so many new audience members. This show started 2 years ago in a little postage stamp space out in Bushwick. And it had, and it had 35 people there, maybe 20. Maybe exaggerated. We may have doubled the audience in our minds. You know how, like, over time, things take on better memories? There could have been 5 people, who knows? But we just had such a blast that first time. And we said, yeah, we'll do this again. And here we are 2 years later. It was our 2-year anniversary in August. Funny thing enough, we've never performed in August again. There was this little thing called Drag Race that Sasha had to leave for. She couldn't perform in August. And then there was this little thing called Drag Race Tour after she won. We couldn't perform in August. So we're celebrating. We're just going to keep celebrating our anniversary every month. It doesn't matter. I'm rambling now. It's okay. Last night I talked about my penis, so at least you're not going to have that conversation. I'm actually keeping it slightly PG at this moment. The later show would be raunchy. But in the second, some people are like, "Aw." I'm actually trying to think if I know a joke that's raunchy enough at this moment. I don't. I'm trying to keep it nice. Okay. 2 years ago, the first show I ever performed in was actually the second show. I couldn't be in the first one. And I sang a song, and it was the first song I ever sang for Nightgowns. So I thought I'd sing it for you all again. Would you? Okay. So, are you ready for this? Sasha, Velour.
You got me singing, girl.
I got you singing.
We got some of the words.
We got all the words. We got all of them.
Whatever words we sing are the words of the song.
That is right. That is how it is at
Actually,
that
those
moment.
lyrics are perfect for us. The mess we make, and the
rainbows,
broken
hearts, dreams.
Oh, that's what we are here to nourish and support and encourage tonight.
Absolutely. And so we should start with some wine.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we'll start with a little wine.
Next show.
Next show. Make her do the Kermit voice.
Oh, wow. We have stems tonight. Thank you.
Stems, but still the red little straws.
Yes.
So you should make our toast, my love.
Yeah, I was gonna make you do it this time.
Oh.
You put me on the spot last night.
Oh, that's so true. I actually would love to toast. We always toast to dreams and to all the beautiful monsters and unicorns. But something right now that I would love to toast to is to all of our returning audience members and our new audience members. For the next couple of hours, we are chosen family. And we, as queer identified persons of this world, it is a lovely thing when you get to choose your family and who you want to love. So to that,
We have no other choice.
We have no other
We have
choice.
Not a guy.
Elegance.
you,
I didn't tweet about this, so someone needs to
Have you all
tweet that I'm
fallen in
live
love with
streaming.
my
Thank
beautiful
you.
sister Olive tonight? The matching sister looks tonight are what? It's like,
it's a little
we
Marie
murdered-
Antoinette.
Marie Antoinette, vampire lesbians who murdered the kings and are now ruling the queendom.
They quoted Megan. That's literally Megan's tweet.
I'm definitely not the queen. I'm like the one sitting in the corner who can barely walk up the aisle.
Actually, I think with most monarchies, that really is what the queen is like.
So maybe I am. Well, I know we have a lot to get to.
Yes.
And if you were at Skirbo last month,
Oh no.
yeah, I know, put you on the spot. At Skirbo, Sasha had a whole speech prepared. That then she, oh, you remember. Yeah. That then she kind of threw away last minute. But remembered it, it was so beautiful, all of your
It
words.
was, well, okay, so we didn't have a printer, so someone wrote the script down for me in cursive,
Yeah.
which I'm not very good at reading. So I just had to rip the script up and have my high school graduation, I'm gonna speak from the heart moment.
It was gorgeous. But tonight,
A lecture has been prepared
you are in
and will be delivered.
right now.
Goodbye, all. I'll see you soon.
Right now, goodbye.
I'll go over here. Please applaud for the neon sign. She's beautiful. Okay, oh my gosh. How's everyone doing tonight?
I can see
This morning. Did anyone go to work today?
Yes, I
I'm so sorry. Okay, I have a little story for you. A fairy tale. It doesn't have a moral, though. There are no morals left in this world. I first created Nightgowns 2 years ago, as you just heard from Olive, in a beautiful bar called Bizarre Bushwick, which is just a couple of blocks away from my apartment. On the very first show, which was in August, we had, Olive says 35, I say 20. We're not sure how many people were there, but it was a small but mighty crowd. Is anyone here tonight? Was anyone in that very first audience? Anyone? Scream if you were. Yeah, that's about what it sounded like. Well, welcome, new friends. It was really the greatest environment to be experimenting with drag as we love it, drag as we needed it to be, and that's how it was for a long time. The shows were completely wild over there at Bizarre Bushwick. There was Glace Chase's 30-minute upper-fueled lecture rant, basically about how the government neglected to take care of our community during the AIDS crisis. There was the time that Olive and I murdered and then scalped Santa Claus in our production of Christmas Macbeth, the musical. The time that we basically recreated John Waters' Crybaby, but instead ended it with an alien abduction.
Yes.
There was Lady Quesadilla, who came in one night unannounced and got the whole audience crying, and then lifted them back up again with a little Gloria Gaynor, as you do. There were many, many technical malfunctions as well. Many times where we had to wait while the projector warmed up. Many times when there was like some ghost audio playing over every single bit of this we couldn't find. We like sent someone up to try to unsort the wires, but there's still just 2 songs playing at all times. But we pushed through it because Nightgowns has always been a space of imperfect drag successes and tumultuous drag experiments. And it still is. It still is. It's just shinier and vaster and infinitely more complicated to pull off. Because, yes, as you get older, as things go on, they don't necessarily get better, they just get more complex. This space is vaster, the wigs are bigger, the balls will be balder. This is now the 3rd time that Nightgowns has sold out in less than 24 hours. And each month we extend the number of seats so that more and more people can come and enjoy this amazing show that we love so much. So that is all truly thanks to you, amazing audiences like you. Please give yourselves a little round of applause because you have transformed Nightgowns into something so much more. It started as a place for personal queer expression, and because of audiences and friends like you, it's grown into this living and breathing little Brooklyn organism that provides a space for people, queer people in our community to express themselves, and it also allows us to come together and furnish actual tangible resources for organizations that benefit the people most in need in our community, and we'll talk about that later with the raffle. This show has already far surpassed what I ever dreamed drag could accomplish in a community and for the people who need it, and that is so much thanks to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's also thanks to, I'd be remiss not to mention this, a little phenomenon in our world called reality television.
What's that?
So I want to be very, very real about that experience. My life has obviously been forever changed by appearing on a reality TV show called RuPaul's Drag Race. And it was, I haven't really talked about this before, but there's obviously no substitute for having your career take off overnight, and I wish that for every hardworking queer person out there, because those years of feeling like you weren't being seen, it hurts when you're putting your whole heart into something. But I do have to say, there are complex sides of becoming a public figure and losing some element of your privacy, and also being taken out of the Brooklyn drag scene and put into a much larger drag perspective that I was purposefully enjoying ignoring. So, as a real human being, the experience has been kind of brutal at times, and I'm just going to lay it right on the line. There is a lot of hate that is spewed in the name of RuPaul's Drag Race, and it echoes hate that I hear separate from RuPaul's Drag Race happening everywhere, talking about politics, talking about identity, and it's horrible when you hear those words from other queer people, from people within the queer community, people who just get almost pleasure out of spewing passionate, egotistical, basic, unimaginative hate on the internet. And the number of times that I've witnessed that hate, I've experienced a very small part of it compared with other people. And the number of times that I've seen that hate take on language that is transphobic, misogynistic, classist, xenophobic is, I think, the most telling. The only way that the queens that I know are able to keep on going and keep creating things in the face of this is by focusing even harder on the love that is out there. And thank God, because I have discovered people all over the world who need drag and who need the world of drag to be a little bit different, to be supportive, to be diverse, even controversial, but always filled with love and always motivated by a passion, by true passion. there are people all over the world who needed those messy, technically imperfect, 20-person shows that we started doing when Nightgowns was first created. And I've gotten to meet and interact with those people all over the world. And so that is why we're going to keep doing Nightgowns and keep it exactly as it is and as it always has been, true to the spirit, because we need to have drag be something for us, something as we need it to be, so that no matter what is out there in the world, no matter what you see on televisions, no matter what you have to experience on your phone, no matter what you see out there in the streets or have to hear going through your daily life, like, you can turn to drag and it is yours and it is what you need it to be. That is so, so important. So, so let me just be crystal clear, the things that Nightgowns is all about, the tenets of Nightgowns, because you have to stand for something in this world. Number one, anyone can do drag. And that's what we celebrate here. Everyone does it differently, and that's an amazing thing. No one writes the laws for drag. Let me be more specific. Women can do drag, and trans people can do drag. Whatever kind of drag they want to do. Many people doing drag, many different types of drag, does not water down drag. It expands its horizons. The only thing that waters down drag is boring, basic, white, gay men, and ignoring history and insisting that it has always belonged to them. And as someone who at times has been a boring white gay man, it is my special mission to never think that way and not to allow it to exist within our drag walls. Number two, the history of drag is mostly about trans people. Yeah, it is a fabulous history. It is a fabulous, amazing history that people need to actually go and learn about, because it's inspired each and every one of the performers who is downstairs. And it is a history that is all about active resistance. Figures like Sylvia Rivera, who supposedly coined the phrase, "Hell hath no fury like a drag queen scorned," in response to the 1986 gay rights bill that was passed without any protections for gender variant or trans people. People like Jose Sarria, the absolute empress, who was the first out gay candidate for office, and the founder of the Imperial Court System, which is one of the world's largest charitable organizations structured around fabulous balls and getting together and dressing up and looking your absolute most amazing queer fabulousness self. So I would say that drag has always been about using charisma, production, and drama to get people motivated, informed, empowered, and ready to actually make change in the community. So I will be dramatic, a little dramatic in that spirit. If you are not down with anti-racism, anti-transphobia, anti-misogyny, anti-xenophobia, you are not down with drag. Sometimes drag dances on the edge of stereotypes, but it is only for the purpose of obliterating their power over us and their realness within society. Transphobic, anti-woman, racist comedy will never be good drag. Yes. So if that's what you like, please leave and go fuck off. I'm not just making this up. This is rooted in the history of drag, darlings. That is why we call this a good old-fashioned drag show, where there are trans people everywhere you look, where queens and kings of different races, abilities, age, and gender come together to celebrate our amazing resourcefulness when it comes to creating our very own beauty. When it comes to our amazing ability to inspire action and power with a pose, a gesture, or even a scream. I'll restrain myself. I'm resting. I'm a singer now. And one more thing. In a drag show, just as in life, there are times to be very, very loud, and there are times to listen. And you have to figure out which one's appropriate. But when it's time to be loud, you better fucking be loud as you possibly can, screaming your head off. And when you're listening, you need to give it your full, rapt, utter, loving attention. It sounds simple, but listening is the #1 lost art in the world. So tonight, we would like to invite you to listen fully and set down your phones.
Yes.
We have several professional photographers. We have a videographer. We are going to be sharing more photos of this night than you will care to see. More videos to revisit each one of these numbers from every angle imaginable. Trust me, we like the way we look better in those than the way we look in your phones. So just put them down and let's have that real human, old-fashioned drag show connection. Now let's have some drag. Shall we? Thank you for that. We love you. I love you. Thank you. Tonight's first performer was once the arts and crafts instructor at a Girl Scout camp. And she is continuing her visual art practice today in glass and drawing. I have a beautiful magic wand, hand blown by her, that sits on my mantelpiece. She is also currently working on premiering a charity ball extravaganza with a Brooklyn twist during Brooklyn Pride. So stay tuned for that. Give it up for one of NIGHTGOWNS' permanent cast members, one of the most humble and brilliant queens I've ever had the pleasure of knowing, the ineffable, Untitled Queen!
Air conditioning is cold, summer's hot and love is old. I wish I was smaller, a little creepy crawler. There's lovers setting us down. Lovers cannot let down. The summer's all that's out here, you know. If we think we can drink now, we won't stop 'cause we don't know how. It's cold, but we love how it feels so right. I sweat it all out, you sweat a lot too. We hurt the same, black and blue. Oh, I wanna catch my difficult. Cause I'm scared of growing old. Don't return the love I gave. Oh. favorite. I wanna catch my difficult. Cause I'm scared I'm growing old. Don't return the love I gave. You're still my favorite. Air conditioning's cold, summer's hot, love is cold. I wish I was even smaller, a little creepy crawler.
Give it up for Untitled Queen! Nightgowns, like Brooklyn South, would not be complete without the House of Aja. Are loud. House of Aja is a queer Latinx drag family born and raised in Brooklyn, and this next performer, at the ripe old age of like 22, has declared itself the grandmother of the house. And I can see why. You need someone to keep the rest of the children in line. So from one old lady to another, we are so happy to have her here. Oh dear, we're cleaning the floor. Give it up for Zoe Ziegfeld. So from, we are very, very excited to welcome, finally, I have to say her name, the one and only Momo Shade.
I am doing acid, that's what I feel like.
Anyone else feel like a lesbian after watching that? Yes, girl!
Oh god, mood.
Oh, God. One of our Brooklyn drag specialties, in addition to tearing the house down, is inserting our little drag bodies into the mysterious and problematic world of fine art. And vice versa, I suppose. We insert the fine art into us. And this next performer is one of the most genius drag visual artists that I have ever met. Alongside several of NIGHTGOWNS regulars, she recently participated in NADA's Contemporary Drag Showcase, and was the co-curator of Coney Island Baby's visual artists from the Brooklyn drag scene, which appeared at the Bureau of General Services Queer Division's fabulous art exhibit. She recently debuted her first monthly show, Sad Songs, at the Rosemont with special guest Untitled Queen, and Charlene will be the next special guest on our Please welcome Patty Spliff! The final performer of this first act is, according to her own bio, an award-winning international personality. Yes, famously naked. She started performing as a go-go boy in New York and then quickly expanded into burlesque, drag, performance art, and event producing. She is the creator of Straight Acting, which just celebrated its 3-year anniversary. And that's a monthly party held in Williamsburg, celebrating performance within and outside of the queer spectrum. Monsters and Unicorns, the incomparable Reefy Royalty.
Oh, please, you don't think that
Hold your tongue.
Now,
It seems we have time on our hands.
but I was only trying to...
Silence! Time for vicious practical jokes. Perhaps we can put it to better use. Now, let me see. There's the large carpet in the main hall. Clean it. And the windows upstairs and down. Watch them. Oh yes, and the tapestries, and the draperies.
But I just
Do
finished...
them again. And don't forget the garden. Then scrub the terrace, sweep the halls and the stairs, clean the chimneys, and of course there's the mending and the sewing and the laundry.
Funny how a lonely day can make a person say, what good is my life? Funny how a breaking heart can make me start to say, what good is my life? Funny how I often seem
that song was one of the top hits on the radio in the summer of 1969, so it's clear that Shirley Bassey gets the queers up and fighting. And I'm just going to keep listening to her for inspiration. Okay, I'm going to move into my raffle light to announce the raffle. Usually I would call our raffle expert, Miss Malice, but she is not available today, so I will call my beautiful Olive to Nightlife back to the stage. So if you've been to Nightgowns before, you know that every month we select a charity and we donate 100% of the proceeds of the raffle to that charity. Last night we were already able to raise over $2,000 for this important charity, which is Unidos, the disaster relief and recovery program. As you know, at the end of September, everything changed for Puerto Rico, and they're still reeling, trying to recover from the devastating impact of Hurricane Maria. And even if our government is not going to do the necessary steps to provide services for the people in need, we will do the best that we can, and with the actually huge power that we have as a community to raise money.
We can fucking do it all.
And we love organizations like Unidos that give 100% of the money that is given to them directly to people in need. So, not like the Red Cross.
Charity shade.
Okay.
Charity shade. That's my drag name, Charity shade.
So, and we're also very excited to echo the work of other drag queens around the country. I know that next month, Phoebe O'Hara, also from Drag Race, is organizing a huge benefit with tons of queens to raise similar funds to help support Puerto Rico. And so, like, let's really see what us drag queens can do in terms of changing the world. Get a few of us in the office and change shit up, right?
I'd love to see your inauguration.
I have the outfits. Okay, so what we'll do is there are a number of raffle prizes, and we're going to talk through those, and then beautiful Olive to Nightlife will explain
how the raffle is going to work.
So we have a multimedia display of the raffle prizes today, so we throw that up on the screen. Oh my goodness. It's a gift. So Lady Gaga told me that I didn't need to be carrying this poster.
Oh my god. I'm gonna bring it to Joanne. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna sign it.
Lady Gaga herself called this an unnecessary cost.
I think you'll agree that it necessarily needs to hang in one of your homes.
So I can spike Gaga.
Beautiful.
My voice just cracked.
Next slide, please. Oh, wow. Okay, so the next is a $100 gift certificate for the House of Velour online shop, where all of the products that I make are available. Enamel pins that I designed the art for, beautiful publications like Velour the Drag magazine, featuring the artistic talents of many people in this room and who have been on this stage. And then t-shirts and other accoutrements for your bodies.
It is a gift certificate for online only. It cannot be applied outside to the merch table. It requires a computer.
We are not that high tech.
We're not that high tech. No.
The next prize is this beautiful painting by Jeremy Cerise, who did artwork for Velour the Drag magazine and is a regular Nightgowns attendee. In real life, it's roughly this size. Yeah. So it'll fit easily into a frame that I'm sure you have waiting in your home, and it looks gorgeous. And Jeremy is an expert at drawing beautiful queer bodies and queer fashion in our daily lives, and it's just, we have a couple of his pieces in our home, and they are awesome to look at. The next prize is earrings by Izzy NYC.
We're like, you sound like a horse.
You get a brand new followed by Zoe Ziegfeld at the moment.
Okay, can I?
This is part of
you can nail them to your ears again.
Shut up. Sasha Velour collection, because these are a significantly more wearable version of the ones that I wore in the finale with the white mask that punctured me several times in the face while I was performing.
Yeah, me too.
So these are guaranteed to be safe, not injure your eye or your mouth as you're swinging around, insisting that it's not right, but it's okay.
Insisting.
which you have to do a lot in this world.
Oh, God. Okay.
I'm
I'm just having a moment, guys. No, one more.
Oh, there's one more. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we made a giant print of this illustration of all of the nightlife and it is gorgeous.
I'll trade you. Please, I need
Olive
you.
and I may enter the raffle ourselves, so we can get a chance to take this home. And this is in the most recent issue of Velour, which is surrounding the theme of sisters. Olive and I co-wrote the introduction, which basically was just me recording us talking while very stoned for like 2 hours, and then artfully collaging it into some semblance of logic.
Like stoned beyond belief.
The thoughts were deep, so
But amazing.
I recommend reading it. And
I was just gonna say I recommend getting high.
So that's the 5 prizes.
Those are the 5 prizes that you have a chance to win tonight.
So Monsters and Unicorns, we've gotten high tech, meaning you're not going to dole out cash and actually get raffle tickets. We're doing all of it online. So you're going to
take out your phones again.
you're allowed to take out your phone.
ready.
And you're going to go to raffle.houseofvelour.com. And there you'll be able to purchase tickets, 3 tickets, yes. 3 tickets for $5, 10 tickets for $10, or 25 tickets for $20. Drag is all about doing good for others, but it's also about one-upsmanship. So, last night raised over $2,000, and we want you to raise more. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah. Drag's
Win the
all about love,
earrings.
but they want to kill each other on stage with their looks. That's what wants to happen. So I'll be around if anybody needs troubleshooting. It should be very simple. We will be calling you if you are the winner of the raffle by last name and first initial. We understand that the site is not perfectly set up for chosen names, and we want to honor everybody in the room.
We were talking about this because as someone who, even though my legal name is written everywhere on Wikipedia, I do not like to be referred to by my legal first name, so we are doing the very best. Hopefully in future NIGHTGOWNS is a brand new technology. We will be able to, so that you can enter whatever name or signifier you would like to be referred to by. But for now, we will do last name and first initial. That seems like the most respectful that we can figure out for now.
So every ticket that you buy goes into a weighted system called Random Picker. It all gets uploaded. We press a button, and it's going to pick everybody at random.
Your fate is now in the hands of the computer, not Olive to Nightlife's fingers.
So have fun, get a drink, use the restroom, buy lots of rap, and we'll be back in a little bit. Bye, everybody.
Bye, you guys. I will be back.
Why?
No one cares, I guess.
Why is it?
Shut the fuck up, Jamie.
Why?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh!
Back. Love you.
Oh, honey!